Oh, and welcome to Dyson Sphere Program. My name's Trismegistus, and this is going to be the last stream I do in 2021. I suspect I might do one Factorio one between Christmas and New Year, but why is that in the wrong place? That's a bit better. Yeah, might do one Factorio one between Christmas and New Year, but basically this is it for me for 2021. I'll be going away to see my family, assuming that the meeting they're holding in the cabinet doesn't result in a lockdown, because Omicron has gone bonkers and they've mishandled it, because that's what they do. Right, so we will hit continue, and I hope this loads up the one I'm expecting it to. Yeah, here we go. So I've been fairly busy since the last Dyson Sphere program, advancing what we need to. I said at the end of last stream that we would go exploring rather, and that's what we're going to do. In order to do that, I have unlocked a few more techs. I said I was also going to unlock that one, so we'll do that first while it builds us some warpers, because we need a good stack of them. They last quite a long time, but we've only got a small power plant and it'll burn through it quite quick. So the other things I also did were down here. So we've done these. I'm not sure if I unlocked these on stream or not, but these are now ready, and it's making the warpers and the lenses. But I also did these, the gas giants. So let's have a quick look. I think I've done some boosts to try and get us as best we can, because I can't do these yet because I haven't got the green. I can't do that one, but I think I did that one off stream while I was chunking away. We could do that, but it's sort of irrelevant, really. And again, we don't really need bots. Energy circuit. This is tied to the Mecha Core 5, which we can't do because we don't have green cubes yet. Again, drive engine needs green cubes. Obviously, we've got the sail life ones. We could do that one. We could leave that going while we work, as it were, because we've now got purple cubes. But yeah, so these ones, are worth doing and doable. In fact, I think I might set that going. Can we do that one as well? I think we can, can't we? Yeah. It's only when it gets up next one. In fact, let's just stick that one on as well. Right, so yeah, so we're sort of there with the stuff. So basically, it was behaving slightly oddly, and I think what it was doing was loading them into the actual drones, but I've put a separate thing here, and you see we now got 56. We'll get like a stack. We don't need that many, but might as well just get a stack sort of thing. But yeah, these allow you to basically warp, because you can in theory go all the way to your nearest star on regular power. There's nothing stopping you other than the fact that it would take, so it should give us an estimate. It's giving us the estimates based on the fact that we've got warpers now. So it gives you estimates for your maximum speed. So basically the fact that we got warpers means these are not too bad a journey. Obviously some of them, I'm hoping we'll probably go out and have a look at the neutron star and the black hole, because they're not that far away. Might have to do it in a couple of trips. Or we could maybe, like star hop, basically. Because these are sort of on the way. It's quite far still, though. But it's these ones, sort of the close ones. So these 4 that I really want to go and visit, because they're going to be the ones that would be practical to exploit. And we can have a see. We should also be able to see. So what it tells you, once you've got the appropriate level, is within 6 light years. So this guy's too far away. Yeah. So we would need the exploration level 4. Exploration, rather, level 4. But because this is within 6 light years, it tells us what's there. It doesn't tell us how much. which is why you kind of have to go and visit. Because we could, I mean, we'll have lots. You know, it's always that way. But you know, we could have only like 1 million iron, so we wouldn't consider that for. I mean, we won't. You get like 10 million, and it gets even a bit richer as you go further out. But yeah, you know, you might turn up and it's only got a little bit of, you know, it says coal, but it's only got a little bit of coal or something like that. But what you can do is because there's water oceans, we know there's going to be an Earth-like planet there. And you can also tell optical. These clue you in on the other planets, but I can't remember what they are. If you get sulfuric acid, you know you've got a sulfuric acid planet, you see. So we haven't got any there. But I don't think you do get sulfuric acids on those K-type stars. But yeah, so what we'll actually do, sort of while it makes us a bunch of warpers, is we'll nip up to our gas giant and add on, you know, these things here. I've only sort of handmade, not handmade. I've only sort of made a few, and basically, because what you have to do with these, the planetary ones, is provide them with charged accumulators, because effectively they've got no other power source, and the idea, I think, is meant to be that, you know, you give it these batteries, and then it maybe burns a proportion of the hydrogen that's up there, or something. You know, I don't know that it could burn it because there's no oxygen, but you know, it processes it in some way to keep itself powered. But to get it kick-started, you have to give it these charged ones. So basically, when in this one, I mean, I've not set it up properly. This is just a couple to get the process going, because you need quite a lot. You need like 20 of those. You also have to give it the thrusters, which makes sense if you think about it, because it's trying to stay in a fixed position on the planet. So transfer. We've only got 2. We'll only put 2 on there. But we need a few more drones, because I think they take the same number, but I can't remember. So if we take, you know, a couple of hundred with us, I think it's only 10 it lets you put on. But yeah, we'll take loads with us. We can always chuck them in the thing. You also need these guys, the reinforced. Oh no, you need them for something else. And I can't remember what that is. Frame material. Oh, is it this? Does one of those need a frame material? No, there's something that needs a frame. Oh, that's what it is. I've made a miniature particle collider because we needed to make these guys, and those can only be made in a particle collider. So what I've actually had to do to support that, because they're really power hungry, is we've added on a lot more fusion reactors. And you see we're still only at sort of 2/3 coverage, but we're now up to 280. What we really need to do is tech up into this territory and start, because we've actually done a lot. And this is one of the things with the game. You don't really have to go to other planets and stuff. It's fun to do that, and I want to do that, but you can kind of complete the game just in your existing solar system and just with the material that's there. You have to be a little bit careful. You can run out of some things, particularly now that oil is limited. But yeah, so we kind of need to do this stuff because this will give us, you know, the ray receivers and the which one is it? Vertical launch silos will let us launch, you know, the bits for the Dyson Sphere and the Dyson sails and stuff like that. So, so yeah, so we kind of need to do them, but I want to go and exploit some of the other planets, almost just for the sake of it, really. Right, yes. So what we'll do is say, is it finished? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there we go. Got lost. Have we got 2? Yeah, 2. There we go. So we'll take those and we'll stick them on our gas giant, which is where? It's obviously hidden itself. Those we're going to exploit. Oh, there we go. Here's we're going to exploit it. It's a bit... well, they might have changed it, but it's a little bit naff, this. In the sense that... Ooh, somewhat on my screen. It's a dead bug, I think. Yeah, so we'll sort of land on a gas giant. We can't really land on it. Wait, am I not? Huh. I'm trying to slow down to nothing, but there we go. Oh, manual collecting resource on gas giant. Oh. So you can do it manually now, can you? Okay. That is a change, but basically, well, I assume we can still do this. So it's given us a couple of them, basically. But essentially this is, you know, only built at the equator. There you go. You see, so that's why it's a bit naff, because basically when you do the gas giant, you have to put these on the equator, and they have like a minimum separation distance. So basically there's like a maximum number you can put on, which that's not the naff bit. The naff bit is that that's all it is. You know, we can't build platforms or something on this. You know, we can't, you know, do anything more complicated than stick these on, put drones in them, and that's it. You know, we don't have to power them. Wait, am I near the equator? We don't have to do anything really once they're there. Where's the equator then? It feels like we should be on the... Oh, there we go. There's the equator. So what I usually do is just go for the big, you know, the big intersection lines, and it really doesn't matter where you can put them, because basically, if we put one on, these things flap to the top, so it can take a while. And you have to be a little careful because you can leave them behind.
You have built an orbital collector, which can collect the resources of this gas giant automatically. The logistics vessel will come to pick up the cargo as long as you set these resources as interstellar demand at other sites. Furthermore, to maintain the collector working, the collected resources will be transferred to energy in the first place.
Yes, so what I was saying was sort of right, it burns some of the hydrogen. So basically some of the hydrogen that it's collecting is used by the orbital collector essentially. So it'll tell you, you know, a rate, but it won't actually produce that rate because some of it will sort of disappear effectively. But what we effectively have here... Oh, right, we can't actually put... Okay. I thought you could. Can I not? No. Okay. So why does it have the platform then? So you can't, because you can't do anything else on this planet. You've only got local storage here, but you can do remote storage and remote supply, which is basically almost like turning it off. Basically, if you ever wanted to do that, but why you would want to do that, I don't know. But yeah, so essentially it will collect fire ice and hydrogen, and we need to set demand on our planet or any other planet for those to actually be brought to, you know, to wherever you want. I thought you could put drones in these, and it does have the slots for them if you look on the top, but clearly not. But yeah, so what I normally do is line it up with the big line, as it were, the big, whichever that one is, you know, meridian lines, and then basically you can only put the closest you can put the next one is 2 big lines away, if you see. So by which I mean there's a thick line there, and then there's, well, this is slightly less dense, so I don't know if it does it at 20 degrees or whatever. That would be sort of fairly normal, but you know, if that's 20 degrees apart of whichever it is, I say latitude or longitude, then that would be sort of 10 degrees, which is why it's thicker, but it's not as thick as these. But if you think about it, because they're not going to have an uneven or broken number of lines, so effectively this tells you, and you can start it anywhere, I just do it because it's easier to work out where it is. But you have a fixed number of orbital collectors that you can have on the planet, and that's it. And once they're there, I say, I don't know, they're probably 10 degrees, are they, maybe? In fact, we should be able to tell, because you can see the coordinates there. So if we're at, you know, 0 degrees of, you know, north, as it were, so we are on the equator there, then that first, this is at 50, that's a bit of a random number, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is... Huh. So it doesn't look like it's properly aligned. So it appears to be 63 degrees. It's a bit strange. And then this is 53 degrees. So it's only 10 degrees between those two. So that's, in fact, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each line is a degree, basically. And if you think about it, there's going to be 360 degrees. So we can put them 5 apart. So is that 60 something we can put on, or 80 something? I can't do the maths in my head, but you get the point, that basically that's it, as it were. You can only have so many, and they have to be that far apart, and it's a very regular number. There's no like optimization you can do. Your only difference would be if you mess it up and you put too big a gap, so you wouldn't get as many on. But it's, you know, it's sort of, that's it. That's all exploiting a gas giant is. What I would say is they do look absolutely awesome. I mean, this is another one of those where they've absolutely nailed the look, because these things look absolutely brilliant, especially sucking this up like a, like a reverse whirlpool sort of a thing. Yeah, so I say they have absolutely nailed that. But yeah, we'll sort of leave them there. We're not demanding fire ice or anything, so that at the moment they'll just sort of fill up. We are demanding hydrogen, but we've got quite a lot of hydrogen on our planet, so they probably won't, do anything particularly. But that's fine. It was just something to do while we waited for these warpers to build, really. Now what we want to do, basically, is we want to take a load of... what does it call it? The nuclear fusion fuel, basically. Where's the... Where is it? Isn't it somewhere? No. That's not it. No, that's not it. Oh, there we go. It's right... Oh, okay. It's right next to the thing. But it won't take a load of nuclear fusion fuel because that'll recharge us quickly. If and when we run out, and we probably won't make it all the way. I've lost track of where I'm going now. Up that way, is it? No? I think I might headed off. Oh no, here we go. So have we got a stack yet? Yeah, so we got a stack and stack and 2/3 of a stack. So we'll take all of them. We'll have a bit of hydrogen fuel with us as well, almost like as a backup, because I've got tons of that set around, as you can see. We will take it out of there though. So we've got 2. I'll put some of it away because we really don't need quite so much there. That's it. I mean, we'll do 4 just so that we can fully, fill up on that. But we want, what do we want? A good few. So we're now full of that. Obviously, we're still burning one. So we want another 30, 60, 75 or so. I mean, I got tons of it now. I say because it took me a while to do all of the stuff. So I got loads of it. So we still want another 9 or so. That might be a little difficult to get exactly, but we can get close. Right, so what we don't really need is a lot of this stuff. I mean, we could deposit it, on the other planet maybe. But I'm tempted to drop a bunch of it off. Because what I really should do, and I was a bit done with it. When I was building this, I should have put things into the international ones, interstellar ones, so that we could just order them up basically on the other planets. But it's a relatively easy fix. I just don't fancy doing it yet, basically. Let's put them away. That gives us an inventory slot. I mean, we're not going to grab anything. We're not going to fill up with stuff when we get to these planets. We're just exploring, basically. So let's say it's not like... In fact, let's put another one of these down. somewhere there maybe. And I can put that in there. If I get rid of some of those engine units, maybe put them in one of my chests. Have I got any? I guess engine units were probably in that one. So if we take them out, put them in there. Another one of those on. And so what I can do, I can leave a load of stuff on one of the planets, but the trouble with this phase of it, as it were, is you don't know which planets are best to, which systems are best to exploit. So, in fact, we'll probably get rid of the chemical stuff. And what was I going to do there? So we can, yeah, I might leave some belts behind or something like that. So I don't mind taking a load of them with us. And we've got loads of drones that turns out we can't use. Let's put some of these in here. So we might leave some behind, but so in my experience, it's best to sort of work out what's on all the planets before actually, deciding what we want to do with them. Particularly in terms of how much processing we want to do. So I think I'm going to leave some of these drones behind. We'll leave some there. Those we definitely will. We'll put one of these. Are we going to be able to do that? Might want to swap them out. We'll leave one of those on each planet as almost like an emergency thing. In case we want to order some stuff up. Where are they? There they are. Didn't find them. Because we can give them warpers, you see, because we're carrying the warpers. Right, so we don't really need. In fact, the other way around. I'll put these away because they're obviously no use. In terms of bringing stuff internationally, I forgot to leave that. That'll do. We'll grab some more of these. So that I say we can sort of put. Oops. No. We can put them. Excuse me. In fact, let's grab it. So if we encounter more than 20 planets, we might be having problems. But we can always come back. You see, this is the thing. Right. So warpers, you have to put in. I believe it will let me do that. Yeah, there we go. But you only get like 20, and this is your first clue that they last a long time because, these stack to 30, these only stack to 20. And this, this is way more than we need, but there you go. Right, so let's go and I just want to make sure I've got lots of hydrogen fuel and lots of deuterium fuel. I'm stocked up on deuterium. Let's go. Feels like when you're going on a road trip, and you're sort of like, well, are we going to need this? Are we going to need that? Are we going to need the other thing? What happens if we run out of fuel? What happens if we run out of food? Right. So what we want to do is probably visit the closest one. Who's closest? You're. And which way's the? Yeah, let's go this way. This is like the opposite. No, let's go to you first. And then maybe swing round. So we might go. Maybe we go to that one. Maybe we could pop up there. Round there. And then we try and get towards the warper or something. Warper. Get towards the neutrons. Yeah, let's do that. So we want to give us an indicator. Right. And then we want to. I usually sort of blast up the speed. Because I'm pretty sure it's caps lock to go to warp. But I may end up having to look at the controls because it's a long time since I did this. So we're at 2000. That's our maximum speed. You see it's not even eaten through half the battery. That's because I've increased the battery. But also the deuterium fuel replenishes it so quickly. Right, so if we go... There we go. Warp engine start. Now I usually just sort of leave it, but you can go. You see our battery is now properly draining. Can you point at that? You see it's like properly draining. That's because it you know, and that's with the fuel in there and all that sort of thing. So we'll drop out a warp eventually, and we'll just have to wait for it to recharge. But with the deuterium fuel... Oh, actually, we've just passed it. Hang on. Okay. What happened there? So because I was blathering away, I wasn't paying attention to the numbers. Basically, we've zapped past the thing. So we had enough juice in our battery to get there, but I've taken us out of warp without any power. So we'll just have to slowly sort of work our way back around. I could get rid of that message as well. But every time I try and turn the mech, it uses a heck of a lot of power. So it's now 0. So I'm pointing us now in the right direction. I mean, 7.4 AU is not that far. So it won't take us long to get there. But I say, we'll just sort of wait for it to drop. So that's because I wasn't paying attention, basically. Right. So if I... No, hang on. Why are we not pointing in the right way? There we go. If I hit that, there we go. You completed a warp travel, crossing a distance of 2.91 light years from Zuben Elganubi system to Edasich system. The creation of the warp engine has slashed the distance between planetary systems. The entire universe is in your hands now. You can take a trip anytime you want. So say waiting for that to recover a bit. What I can show you is that essentially the warpers are like an on-off thing. I thought they might work more like a fuel. That's how I thought they would work when we did it, but it isn't. So what happens is you use a warper to go into warp, and it's used up. And so when you hit the caps lock key, that's what it does. So it's actually kind of worth not keeping them in there. But it doesn't then eat through them, so that it doesn't consume warpers at a continuous rate. What it does instead is use your battery, so in other words your normal fuel, to keep you in the warp, basically. I believe you can speed up and stuff. I don't usually bother. And you see, we just missed the planet, so that's why I don't usually bother. But basically, it's normal fuel power to get there, and you want to unlock several of the cores in order to have enough power. You don't need as many as I've got in order to go into warp, but it gives you a nice big battery to get there. So we're about halfway there. How are we doing with distance? So we're there. We should actually probably point ourselves at that then. So it appears there's only 2 planets in Edasich 1. We are above the plane of the ecliptic, I believe. Yeah, there we go. That's better. So we can 2000 is our maximum speed. You can get faster. At one point, basically an AU is an astronomical unit, and I don't know if it scales it to the game, because an astronomical unit is the distance from the sun to the earth. Now, that's obviously that's obviously a human planet scale, if you see what I mean. You don't, you're not on Earth when you start this game, so I don't know if it scales it to your specific distance, or maybe all of the starter planets are 1 AU, but it's a sort of a relative scale rather than a absolute one in a sense. So we got all sorts of interesting stuff on this planet, haven't we? But this is what I was saying about. So this planet is absolutely drowning in stone, and it's got loads of titanium, but it's only got 800,000 iron and has no coal whatsoever. So if you were coming here thinking, right, well, I'll burn whatever coal's there to get me going, to get the planet, get everything up and running, you've not got any coal here. So that's the kind of thing you have to be careful of, because if you say, right, well, we're going to exploit this solar system and you don't know what's there, I mean, the other one may not have any coal. So the whole notion of burning coal for power may be redundant. So you would have to then think, well, are we going to use solar, or are we going to use wind instead? How much? And of course, here we go. So wind energy ratio is 0%. I think that means there is no wind on this planet. This is effectively a rock, basically, then. And then solar ratio is 59%. So basically, it's like 2 to 1. So every solar panel on home planet is like half a solar panel here. So you would need a lot of solar panels. So this system isn't, or this planet isn't particularly great. What you could do is, because your fire ice is going to have hydrogen on it. I think you get hydrogen as a byproduct. You may not. But we've got loads and loads of titanium. Let's have a fly around. But say absolutely loads of stone, which is okay, but that's not really the best of resources. So it's all just stone veins, bit of silicon, bit of copper. So yeah, so you see this isn't a particularly interesting, and I guess it's pop marked with, you know, crater impacts because it doesn't have an atmosphere. That's one of the things I really like about this game, is it's unrealistic, obviously, because it's a game, but you know, the fact that you've got planets without atmospheres and things like that is really quite cool. So yeah, it's not particularly interesting, this planet. It's more like a moon, really, or our moon. Should we go and have a look at one of these craters? Okay, so they're fairly flat, aren't they? It's not. Well, I suppose Icarus is gigantinormous. So. Cool. Okay, let's go and have a look at the other planet then. And you never know, this may be a... Oh, it is. Like, it's a gas giant with a moon, so it's more like the home planet. So Edisich 3 may have, you know, interesting resources on it, or it may just be another rock. No, wrong button. Right, so that's... Now, you can use warping in system. There's nothing stopping me warping across to here, across to the next, you know, across to this planet. Except the fact that, as you saw, I quickly got way past the planet by just missing it by a couple of seconds. So warpers do make you go really quick. So, although you can use them in system, it's usually best not to. I find, because I just miss. You end up blasting past it so far, you know, that it's sort of no benefit, in the sense that, you know, if you're 1 AU past away from the planet, you stick your warper on, and as soon as you turn it on, you're 2 AUs past it, and it's like, well, that was all a bit pointless then, wasn't it? So that's a gas giant, I take it. So we'll actually go there, if I can land. I think that's a gas giant. Anyway, let's see what it calls it. Yeah, so what's it actually got on it? So that's hydrogen and deuterium, so that would be worth. Deuterium is really useful to pull up, because the gas giants are inexhaustible resources, unless they change that, but it doesn't give a maximum amount. So a deuterium, so bringing some of those collectors here and having them be picked up here, and that would have the advantage that we wouldn't have to power it. So as you saw, it uses some of the hydrogen. So say, well, so where it says 0.88, we wouldn't get 0.88 out of it, because it would be burning, in quotes, some of the hydrogen. I guess it's probably more like, you know, it's fusing it or something to power itself. So you wouldn't get 0.88 out. But coming here and sticking some planetary things on, basically to collect deuterium, would be really useful, because deuterium's quite hard and expensive in terms of power to make. So that would be quite a good investment. Let's have a look at this planet then. What's this planet got on it? We've got fire ice and fractal silicon as novel resources. So it's got an atmosphere. So we've got wind ratio of 70%. Oh, so that's that vein utilization. Good. And solar ratio is quite small, because this is so far from the sun. We have a little bit of coal, so we could kickstart ourselves in this system with coal. And then we got a fair spread, lots of titanium again. So this is a really heavy titanium system. Let's have a look at some of these more novel resources. So this fractal silicon. Basically, I can't remember what that even gives you. Oh, it just gives you crystal silicon direct. Okay. So it's like shortcutting to the crystal silicon, which is one of those resources you don't need it until like later materials, but then you suddenly need huge volumes of it. So it's not a bad one to mine up, that one. What else have we got? So, what did it say? Oh, it's more fire ice. Okay, so I wonder where that is. Oh, we've got like a sort of a strip of material here. That's fire ice over there. So this isn't particularly different, this planet, to what our sort of frozen planet, because that has fire ice on it as well. I'm not exploiting any of it yet. I tend to wait. Fire ice gives us... What does fire ice give us? I can't remember. It's basically another way of shortcutting. Oh, that's kimberlite, isn't it? It's another shortcut one. All of the rarer resources are shortcuts, basically. There you go. So that lets us shortcut straight to graphene, basically, and with a bit of hydrogen as a byproduct. I say, which is one of the things you can do if you're sort of processing that. Is basically you can, if you come here and mine up this, you can get the hydrogen out of it and use that to burn stuff as well. But to do that, it's quite energy intensive anyway. So you know. Okay, so not massively interesting, this solar system, other than the deuterium. You can rename systems, I think, can't you? So we could, rename it basically as... Can you rename it? Indicator... Show hide label? What's that? Oh, there we go. So you just rename it. So we could stick on... we could call it that, but we could call it Edisich, deuterium, as the thing we would want to come and get. But so we're just exploring, I think, today. Right, so let's have a look and see where we might want to go. So, should we try and get over there? I was a bit impressed at how far we got, actually. What does that say it's got on it? So that's got crude oil on that, so that must have an organic planet. So let's see what... Did that work? Yes, there we go. Didn't show the line on the thing. It also, it colours the gas giants in, but they are basically, it's identical. There's nothing. It's just go there and put the orbital collectors on. It's not. There's no extra complexity to them. So what I'll try and do this time is kind of get us up to speed, but then recharge. Whoops. Getting a bit of gravitational effect there from the old gas giant. Yeah, so 2000 max. I'll let it recharge a bit this time. And we'll use that to refill that. Cool. So we used sort of 7 or 8 in that entire trip. So you do burn through it quite quick when you're doing this. But we've got, if you think, say that's 3 systems each. So we've got sort of 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 systems worth, and then enough to go home, definitely. So we've got plenty of fuel, and, we've used 1 warper because we've done 1 warp trip. Right, so this is a bit higher now. So we will head into warp. You do get used to it. It's a bit confusing when you first do it. But what I'll try and do, you see how it's counting down? 1.6, so 1.5, 1.3. So I'll try and stop it when we get down to sort of 1 AU or so. Because you do it when you drop out. You sort of drop out instantly. There's no sort of momentum to it. Other than in fact, that there we go. So we're right close to some of the planets, so that's good timing. So let's have a look. Is this the outer system? Oh, it is. Oh, and it literally has A gas, is that a gas giant? Yeah, a gas giant and a, I think, so we'll pop that on there. Will we have enough power to get us over there? Let's see if we can slow down a bit so we don't, oh, I've got tab on. Okay. Oh, this is interesting looking. Ah, Mushroom Planet. Okay. So let's give ourselves a little bit of time to recharge and have a look at what's going on with this gas giant. So we're at Chaos Media. And this gas giant has hydrogen and deuterium as well. More hydrogen on it. I think the deuterium's about the same, is it? One of the things I did want to check. Let's turn that off. So we went there, didn't we? Yeah, you see, it doesn't tell you. I don't know if it does it on the next level, but I seem to remember being a bit frustrated by that, in that it doesn't tell you how much is actually there. But say, I'm not sure if that's not... Is that in the next level of upgrades? I don't think it is, you see. Able to view the veins and rare veins details in all planetary systems. Yeah, it doesn't... You can't see how much there is. You can get, once you've got... you can see it on the production stats once you're using stuff, but yeah. It would be useful for it to tell us, like, how much. Right, so, we've got quite a lot of oil here. 49.23 maximum rate. What else have we got? Oh, this has got organic crystals on it. Okay. So that's some of them there. This is another thing I really like about the game, that when I first went exploring, I was expecting basically to end up with the same set of planets. You know, the same, exact same organic planets, you know, in particular. And you just saw, we just had, oh, hello Grim, how you doing? We just had another one of those ice worlds, and it was pretty much identical to what we had before. And the gas giant was a different colour, but that didn't make a lot of difference. But say, when I got to these other organic planets, there's like 4 biomes, I think. There's like the Earth-like one, like you started on, and there's this one, which is sort of, I call it Mushroom Planet. I don't know if they're actually sort of meant to be mushrooms. You get wood out of them, so I suppose they're trees really. But yeah, so that you got these sort of gigantic flowers, and sort of, these are like the trees you get in Africa, the sort of baobab trees or something. But this is different. So this is the organic crystals, and it literally gives us organic crystals, basically. And that may not seem particularly interesting, but it's a big shortcut in terms of... Yeah, it does give us them, doesn't it? Because that's not showing the recipe. Unless it gets us plastic or something? I guess because it's obviously named, it just means you can iron them up. You don't have to process them. Mine them up. Oh no, it says on gathered from organic crystal vein rare. Yeah, so it's quite a good one to do because that recipe is really quite complicated and expensive. So these are quite a good one to grab up. I got thanks, boss. Sure, super busy though. How's you? I'm okay. Yeah, I mean it's sort of it's gone into a weird mode at work where I've been absolutely flat out the last couple of weeks trying to get some stuff done, and now it's done, and I've kind of got not a lot to do, but work is still happening, as it were. We've not broken up for Christmas or anything yet, and it's like I haven't really done anything today, but I work. You know, I did so much overtime the last sort of 3 weeks that I'm not fussed about. I don't think I owe the company anything, sort of thing. It's been really busy, but I say it's a very strange day, sort of twiddling my thumbs type of experience. So I guess you're busy with Christmas prep, are you? The whole melee that is family Christmas time. So yeah, we've got a lot of crude oil. The numbers aren't that big, but we've got a lot of. These are similar numbers to what we've got on our planet, but we've got lots of them. My only sort of thing on these organic planets, it would be good if they had polar, you know, but as in, so we're at the whichever one, north or south pole, and it's just uniform. There's no climate, you know, there's no sort of change of temperature or anything as you go across the planet. It's just completely uniform. But such a minor complaint. I mean, also they always look like it's just like a noise pattern. You know, it just looks like random shapes. It doesn't look like geology. But I can't imagine that would be easy to sort of program in as a procedural thing. Okay, so not a massively interesting system apart from seeing a different planet. It's very blue, the water. Yeah, very pretty. Right, so let's charge ourselves up again. Now, like that. Oh, okay. So where do we want to go then? Let's zoom out. So ultimately, I want to head down there. So maybe if we do a longer trip over to that one, I think we might end up dropping out a warp. I could wait for the battery to charge once we're up to speed. Right. Let's get over there. In fact, I might not get us so fast. I usually do it because if you drop out of warp a long way from the planets, you can have, well, like we did, you can have quite a long trip. Finishing jobs just before Xmas, mostly kids are at an age they're pretty easy to control as far as Christmas goes. Okay. Just got to pull the 1-year-old out the tree. Blimey. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I think, you know, it's sort of the individual child, isn't it? But I don't remember as, you know, when I was a kid, we were particularly problematic at Christmas. But you do get some kids, don't you, that you sort of go a bit nuts almost, you know, all the excitement and stuff. Right, we'll see if we can make this. We probably won't, but it'll be very close. I really love this effect they've done as well. This, in fact, yeah, we'll make this. This is no problem. Is that 8 AU 5 4? Let's drop out. So we got. Oh, I've only got 2 planets in this system as well. Who's close? Where are we closer to? I guess it's about the same, really. Let's go to number 1 then. Okay. Go over there. It'll be quite. That'll take a while. So this is why I build it up to the full 2000, because we've now got quite a trip. It's difficult to time it so that you're perfectly there. Worse than a cat. It's been next door is it's one of my favourite moaning topics, but they're all right. But there's how to put it. They've both had previous families, as it were. So I think there's effectively 3 sets of children. I think. It's a bit confusing. It's one of those, you know, that I don't mean it's in, you know, an offensive way as such, but it's that clown car thing where, you know, 50 clowns get out of the car sort of thing. You sort of, sometimes it's like, because it's only, I mean, these are only tiny houses, you know, 2-bed terraced houses. You know, I mean, I've got tons of crap. I'm a terrible hoarder, but you know, I barely fit in this flat. And I say, you sometimes it's like 5 of them come out the door, you know, and it's like, and you can hear 3 people in the house type of thing. It's one of those situations. And they've been, I think actually, they've got like a tree upstairs as well as one downstairs. Partly because of that, I think. It's a bit confusing, but there's definitely a light, you know, like a fairy light show going on somewhere up there. But say it means that, I mean, for the last couple of weeks, I say when I've been trying to work from home, it's been all sorts of crashing and banging and, you know, people shouting at each other, or, you know, typical Christmas tension stuff. But then this last couple of days, they've basically all disappeared. So I assume they've gone to somebody, you know, one of the other parents' houses. But say it is a bit sort of like, you know, there'll be kids walking down the, because there's school right down the road, and it's like, you know, sometimes there's like a horde of children sort of turn up at this house, and you know, and sort of go in, and I assume it's all their friends and stuff, but you know, you don't recognise any of them, you know. So it's not meant as a complaint. It's just sort of a amusing thing of it's so pretty, this game. Absolutely nailed it. Yeah, the difference between I mean, for me, Christmas is just I go and visit my family and eat lots of food, and that's it basically. So what have we got here? We got an almost sarcastic amount of coal. I mean, what's the point of that? We've got even more fire ice. It seems to be determined to give me loads of fire ice. And then this is another, you know, we got 16.5 million titanium now on this planet. 6 million iron ore. Construction area. Okay. So it's just another frozen planet, basically. Nothing massively interesting, this one. But there was another one, wasn't there? There we go. Let's head over there. It tends to be sort of thematic to the system. So the 3 systems we visited are all K-type, I think they are. Yeah, K-type. So basically you get very similar systems around each of the stars. So that's one of the reasons I want to go and see the black hole and neutron star, because they are very different. And you get unipolar magnets on one of them, or both of them, I think, which are an exclusive resource to those. How are we going to get over there? Because that's another K. Oh no, that's an M type. Okay. So that should be different, basically. That's quite far away, isn't it? With my 24 bags of old computer cables. Yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, I'm going to have a... I think I'm going to have a clear out, because I want to move from here next year. Hopefully once COVID has sort of, you know, died down a bit for the... You know, once we're out that season, I want to move away from here, because say the amount of noise there is quite disruptive for me if I'm working at home all the time. But also I sort of ended up like this was meant to be a stopgap place, because my somewhere I was renting fell through last minute, and this was like, well, I need somewhere to live, so I'll do this. Wow, look at this planet. Here you go. So there's a variety. Look at that. There's tiger stripes on it. It's like a big gumball. Or a beach ball or something like that. Look at that. That's spectacular. What else is... Oh, it's got optical crystal grating as well. That's a good one. Where is that? Where is that? We're not stood next to it, are we? Where the... Oh, there it is. It's over there. And where am I? Over that one. Oh, yeah, one of it. So I'm sort of going to be, like, as you say, with my ridiculous numbers of cables and things and whatever. So I'm going to try and throw some of them away. That's very difficult for me, that, though. But otherwise, like, box things up, basically, so that they're ready to go. It's clearly just a texture. It looks really good, but only from a distance, because it's, you know, there's no height to that. It's just a sort of a cracked mud texture. It looks good. Yeah, the optical crystal gratings give us the fibre optic lads, I believe. Is it fibre optics or what is it? No? They give you something... We might not have unlocked it, actually. It's not them, is it? Yeah, that's a spiny form. I might not have unlocked what they give you. Ah! There you go. So it's the photon combiners. That's used in the endgame stuff. And they're really expensive to produce normally. Because you... Oh, that's right. You put them in solar cells. But yeah, it's like 2 of them and 1 of them, and they take 3 seconds each, and you need like thousands of solar cells. Well, you don't need them, but you end up with thousands of solar cells. So making all of these is quite a big job. So being able to just mine them up is actually quite useful. What about this planet generally? So here we got 10 million copper. More coal. So this is actually quite a good system, actually. This would be one I would definitely consider as a first target for exploitation. It doesn't have a gas giant with deuterium though, so we could still get one of the others and get deuterium there. Right, okay. What are we looking at? M-type, K-type. So it'll be good to visit a variety, I think. Kind of just to see what's going on. We've got a blue giant there. It's probably our only one, actually. Have we got another one? Is that a blue giant? Oh, sorry, we've got a couple. So we'll head up to there. Is that next? Because this is back to the home system. I mean, we've got a red giant all the way over there. It's probably a bit too far, that one. We could planet hop, but we'd be so far away from these that we wouldn't get back to them, I don't think, before the end of the stream. So how about we go to that one? And then we'll consider going sort of to maybe that one? Over to there. And then down to those 2. Yeah, let's give that a go. I can always shortcut it if it looks like we're running out of time, as it were. No, what are you doing? There we go. Some weird looking stuff here, isn't there? Looks like a hand almost there. Bony fingers. Okay, so let's get up to speed. And then let it recharge a bit. Got to clear out my van over Christmas. Chuck some old broke tools. Might need them one day. I suppose I might do. I was saying the other day, I've sort of like... Some of the stuff I've got... I mean, that's why I keep it. It is very much, but I might need it one day. And what I tend to find is someone who buys a silly amount of technology. I bet you get this with a lot of your tools as well, but you get like different power adapters and Because basically they're obviously making them. They make one somewhere in China, you know, and then they sell it all across Europe. Then maybe they have a different box or something, you know, cover for the box or something like that. But basically, it's the same one. So in the box, you'll get like an adapter, you know, like a thing that goes in an adapter plug or something like that. That is, you know, the European power supply, the American one, or however it works. I don't know, but I'll then think to myself like, well, I might as well, you know, I'll keep it just in case. But it's like that, you know, I'm not going to move to France, you know, and even if I did, I'd probably need a different thing anyway because it's, you know, different power supply or whatever. But yeah, I'll hold on to this adapter for a European power supply, and it's like, well, why have I still got this? We're gonna run out of juice, aren't we? Perfect timing. But basically, when you run out of juice, you drop out of warp, basically, so you can't get stuck in warp. But we're a long way from the things, I think. It does have a weird effect that, in that now if I hit tab, because my caps lock is on now, so if I hit tab, we'll go back into warp, but only for a tiny amount of time. And you can get a bit confused whether you're in warp or not warp if you've dropped out. Right, so where? Oh, I say we're a long way away. This is a very big solar system. Let's go here then. No, I pressed the wrong thing. That one. So we're sort of heading for it already. We're going quite fast. So this is more like a blasted desert, isn't it? Look at that. So they've really done a good job with like variety as well. I wasn't expecting, you know, these like mesas in the American desert, I guess, or something like that. And they actually look wind blasted, you know. It's got like a shape as if it's been hit by the wind, worn away by the wind. Bright orange is quite pretty, this. In a sort of a desolate sort of a way. What have we got on here? So, oh, it's got 150% wind energy. That's obviously the, you know, the wind, 100% solar. So it's quite a good one for power. But there's nothing particularly interesting on it. Lots of copper. Tons of stone. It's not massively interesting from a resource point of view. But yeah, I quite like the look of that. So yeah, lots and lots of stone veins. Okay, we're doing powerless. Top that up. Might as well put them back in. Watch the sunrise. Cool. And where might we want to go next? Oops. So we got, alright, a gas giant. Oh no, that's an ice giant. Okay. With a reverse rotation. Interesting. Okay. We'll go there next though. I think. What was that? That was odd. Right. Kappa Scorpi 2. Apparently they do use, I think they use an almanac of some description to generate the names, but like recombine them in like a randomized way. So you get names that are, you know, based on actual planetary, actual. Oh, look at this place. It's a bit weird. Hmm. Based on actual, you know, like Beetlejuice or something like that, but they recombine them because they tried to do it completely fake, but ended up with just gibberish and weird sounding things. So they took a sort of route of, well, let's randomize it to make them unique, but then use actual things. So we got more fire ice and more fractal silicon. Okay. Wind 14. Okay. You don't get a lot of coal on planets, but that's not too bad because you can obviously make the carbon stuff out of oil. So here's a bit of fractal silicon. I do like that, you know, because it's fractal and that is a fractal and it's like a fractal shape. It's quite a neat little touch there. Again, quite pretty, this planet. We've got these big old rock formations. Sulfuric acid planet. Not yet, no. I'm hoping we will, but I can't see any. So turn the caps lock off there. I couldn't see any because it tells you, you know, what's in the system, and if it was loose, which way are we going? You know, if we had one, it would be, you know, listed in the thing. That's too far away, that one. So maybe one of these. There'll be some somewhere, but because we've only got the, you know, whatever it is, Universe Exploration 3, I can only sort of see so far. Well, none of the ones we've looked at so far have had, you know, sulfuric acid listed. So no, not yet. There'll be somewhere, you know. You get everything eventually. So that's another K type. If we visit another F type, because our home planet is a G type. F's are very similar, I think. Unless we go, because I want to go there, because they're like enormous great things. It can be difficult. I find it difficult to tell, you know, because it's like dots in a 3D space, and it can be difficult to tell where things are sometimes. Right, so maybe if we go there, that's quite a distance away. Yeah, let's go. What time is it? 6:10. Yeah, so let's head there. Oh no, we've got another planet in this system, haven't we? Or pair of planets. In fact, they're over there, so I don't really need to mark them. In fact, does that... I think that's got a moon. Yeah, so we'll go into these two. So we want to go and have a look at what's going over there. But that looks like it's a... Let's have a look, see what this is. Or is it just showing the line weirdly? But yeah, we're bound to have a sulfuric acid somewhere, but say they're easier to pin down when you get the next level, because then we can basically see most of the solar system. Was it a moon? I think it might have just been showing the orbit and I thought it was a moon. So, Kappa Scorpii 4. I suppose in a sense this is a moon. Oh, it's just another ice planet. Yeah, it was obviously showing just the orbit and I thought that was something else. So we've got... Alright, so it's got optical grating crystals, fractal silicon. Yeah, okay. It's not a bad solar system, this one. Got some interesting stuff on it. But as a planet, this is just another ice giant, really. So what's this other one, then? Because it called this ice giant? Is that just a different name for another gas giant? I think it is, isn't it? Let's see if we can... Yeah, it's just a gas giant that it calls something else. What does it actually have on it, then? Oh, fire, ice and hydrogen. So why does it call it an ice giant, then? I guess because it's got fire ice rather than hydrogen and... But then that's what I've got on my home system. Oh, okay. So there's plenty of stuff of interest in this, you know, worth exploiting in this system, I think. But what's going on there? There we go. No, don't go back. Right, I get us up to speed, and then we'll... let it charge up a bit, I think. Oh, no. Pressed the wrong button. Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. That's wasted a warper, but we've got loads of them. So. I was going to put them down, wasn't I? Oh, well. Oh, well. Never mind. So while we wait to charge up a little bit, I'm surprised it's going so slow, actually. So it's just to say, this will be the last definite stream of the year for me. All my series will come back in 2 weeks, which would be the 7th, I think, of January. That weekend, anyway. With the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday schedule as per. But over Christmas, if I stream at all, it'll be between the Christmas and New Year period. And it'll be a Factorio one, just to balance out the numbers. I think I've decided that I'm definitely going to start the other series, the Base in a Book series. And I'll probably do quite a lot of work on the Aesthetic Factorio series off stream. Particularly, I'm going to reclaim from the biters a great big area because, I mean, I don't mind doing it, but I'm not sure hours and hours of me just killing biters with a tank is particularly thrilling viewing. And it's even less thrilling viewing setting up the walls, so I'm going to clear out a great big space so that when we do come back to that series, it's basically doing something interesting, building new stuff, getting the science up and going and unlocking everything and that sort of stuff, which I think is a lot more interesting. But I'll get that all sort of set up and ready to go before we come back to that. I'm still not... It's unfortunate, basically, that the resources, there's just far too many resources, far too big and far too many. Clearly the settings weren't at all right for that. Are we gonna drop out a long way off? We are, aren't we? Yeah, so I say that's a little bit unfortunate. Oh, crikey, we are a long way off. I can pop it on view. So what we got here? So we'll probably head up to... Oh, planet Sakura Ocean. That might be an ocean planet. Okay. So we'll head there. You have to leave it a while to do. But yeah, it's also the scale of it has sort of dawned on me. Because if I'm going to build these big, you know, the factories I want to build, aesthetic ones, there's going to be a lot of space involved. So it's going to be a lot of like pathways around things, and it's not going to be all dense and efficient and all that sort of stuff. It's just going to look interesting. But that means I need a lot of space. Which means, again, means an awful lot of biter clearance, basically. I mean, I could get rid of them, but then what's the point building factories with defences around them and stuff like that? It's sort of self-defeating if I do that. We're a long way off. Let's see if we can walk a lot closer. Pop out there. I'm just conscious if we run out of battery, we won't be able to fly past it, basically. Keep an eye out. I definitely want to see your take on a starter base blueprint. Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about that because I don't tend to do. I think that may well be where most of the effort is, because I know people come up with these bases that it's like all of the science is in a single production area sort of thing, and I'd quite like to have a go at that. Mine tend to be fairly... I mean, the way I play the game, as you've seen, is with a bus, and I just do the same basic structure over and over again, as in, you know, take stuff off the bus, send stuff back either up or down, you know, that type of pattern. So those would be fairly easy to mod, you know, to put in a module, as it were, as a if you want, you know, power stuff, here's the module for stamping that down. If you want red science, here's the module for stamping that down, and then people can put it down in whatever order they want, sort of thing. But that sort of, you know, bootstrap, Kickstarter, get you going type base. I don't tend to. I mean, I think you've seen the on the aesthetic series where I lay down paths. I lay down belts outside of machines and just pull the stuff into the machines. And it tends to be very haphazard and random rather than sort of organised. So yeah, that's something I really want to work on. You know, right, stamp this down and here's your blueprint for making, you know, the first dozen... Oh, look at this planet. First dozen sciences. Oh, I thought this might be a complete ocean planet, but it isn't. Which is cool, but you do get planets that are literally just ocean. You know, there is nothing but ocean. And they have resources on them. And you have to put landfill down in order to basically raise the land up. It's very pretty, this, isn't it? Lovely pastel colours. There's a lot of variety of plants as well. Oh, I like this. This would be a shame. This would almost be a shame to build on this. What have we got here then? We've got lots of oil. Look at that, 104,000. And organic crystals as well. Where are they then? 1.7 million organic crystals. Where? Oh, there we go. There's a bunch there. But yeah, there's sort of attention to detail. It's sort of... I mean, some of the things, like we were saying before, the scale doesn't make sense. I mean, that plant, that's like the size of London, isn't it, or something? It's like you know, gigantic. If it really is a planet, sort of thing. Whereas it's meant to just be some lilies type of thing. Yeah, this is beautiful, this planet. Maybe we should come and live here. So it's got quite a nice... That's ironic, isn't it? It's not so pretty you don't want to spoil it, but it's got quite a nice mix of resources. 5 and 5 million for each. 16 million coal. Blimey. Blimey. Yeah, that's very pretty. What's the what's the gas giant we've got? What's this got on it? Oh, that's deuterium as well. Crikey. Unfortunately, it's too pretty for its own good by the looks of things. The other thing I'm thinking about is maybe bidding off Satisfactory as a continuing ongoing series, because I think doing all three of the big builder games at the same time is a bit much, because they all benefit, really, in my opinion anyway. They all benefit from time spent off between streams. And like this, you know, we're doing this because I spent a good few hours unlocking warpers. And that meant I could do this all stream, which this is probably my favourite part of this game. Truth be told. But that means I've not done anything with Satisfactory, and that needs loads doing if I'm going to do the Fixmas. So I'm wondering maybe if I play something else instead. Oh, look at this. This is a Magma Planet. Oh, look at that. You can walk in the lava, can't you? Well, you can crash into it. Oh, didn't make it. You can't. It's like it's effectively you know, orange water. But look at that. So does this have anything interesting on it? Yeah, and maybe I do Dyson Sphere Program again. Maybe double it up, sort of thing. Because it's not that far off this series, whereas Satisfactory I think is months off basically. And then I could, or I could play, you know, like Ark or something like that, something completely new that, you know, is completely different sort of thing. But it's a craggly thing, isn't it? Craggly rock. This. But yeah, I think streaming all three of the big complex builder games is a bit much, really. So we got 35 million iron and 35 million copper. Wow. 20 million titanium. We've got no special resources, but wow. That's a lot of stuff. The Satisfactory running in the background, just working on phase 3 at the moment. Yeah, it's I say the thing, because it's all, I mean, past that sort of point, it was all completely new to me. And the ramping up, I mean, all builder games do it. You know, they all require you to produce a lot or leave it running like you're doing. You either need to, you know, massively scale up everything or not. And as I say, they all do that. But Satisfactory's curve seems to be particularly, you know, aggressive in that way. And particularly since it introduces, you know, I've just unlocked the final tier you can do, as you know, and I've now got both uranium and aluminium processing to set up, as well as really scaling up my iron and copper. And it does seem to like ramp up way bigger than I was expecting at this stage. And so I enjoy streaming it. Nobody really watches. It's only sort of you and maybe a random pops in. Is that where we're going? Number one. It is, isn't it? So it's not like there's a gigantic audience waiting for it. I mean, what I could do is interleave the two, maybe. But I'm feeling more that if I ramp this one up, and we get the Dyson Sphere up and running, and then maybe when it's at the stage of grinding that out, launching 1 million panels and all that sort of stuff, which I don't think is particularly, it's very samey. I can switch back to Satisfactory and sort of, do them alternate periods basically. And then I can spend more time dedicated to one, if that makes sense. Because I end up feeling guilty a lot of the streams where it's like, well, I haven't done anything. And there's nothing really interesting to do this week. Oh, here we go. We've got sulfuric acid. Huh. Why did that not say it was here then? Ah, it's not a lot of it though, is there? It's just a few muddy little puddles. Let's go and have a look. So this solar system is the best one we've seen, really. It's got not got too many. Here we go. Like novel resources. Yeah, they're not gigantic though, are they? Have we got a nice big one? Oh, that's not too bad. There we go. So we could get a few pumps around that. But yeah, it's not the one I had in my. I mean, well, there'll be some others somewhere, but the one I had in my other save, it was like proper oceans of sulfuric acid. Unless they've nerfed it, maybe. I don't know. Oh, that's quite big. Oh, and you've got the. Let's go and have a look at that one. It shows the. I don't know whether that's meant to be. Volcanic activity underneath it. So this way, here we go. That looks. You wouldn't want to go for a dip in that, would you? Crikey. Sulfuric acid heated by some sort of underground, tectonic, whatever, magma or whatever. Blimey. Let's see if we can get it to. No, it won't bounce into it, will it? Oh, well. Oh, just splashed in there. It doesn't damage it. You don't take any damage from it. Cool. So, a sulfuric acid planet already. See, this is quite close as well. It's got 27 million each as well. Wow, I like this solar system. Let's see if I can load my old save, because that already has supercomputers. Just need to sort out power to use. Water. Yeah, I mean, it sort of has that advantage, I guess, that it's one of the things I say that sort of occurred to me over time with it, in that it's the same map and it's the same resources, and those resources are infinite. So you can just play, and that's probably what they're more intending, rather than games like this and Factorio where it's like more about restarting, where you could just pick your old factory, your old save up, and all right, they might have changed recipes or whatever, but it's basically. Have we already been there? Yeah, that had the 35 million. Yeah, we've already been there, haven't we? But yeah, I think you are supposed to play it that way, in a sense that Where do we want to go? So I want to visit that. It's quite a way away. What time are we? 6:30. Yeah, so we better go there next. But yeah, it's sort of like taking things down and putting things back, as it were, I think is how you're meant to play that game to some extent. You're meant to tear it down all the time, because the fact that you've got, you know, 1,000 iron plate in a chest, it's like, just get rid of them because you can make 1,000 iron plate more. Whereas games like this and Factorio, you know, well, like, we've got a planet with only 70,000 coal in it, sort of thing. So using it all up is not, you know, is not ideal, sort of thing. Whereas with Satisfactory, just pull more of it out of the ground. You know, it's not a big deal. Right, so I want to go there. So it is a fair distance away. No. I don't know why I can't get my head around the difference between the M and the V. Right. So I'll get up to speed. And I'll do a little recharge. Have a glass of water as well. Chat personality is mostly enough entertainment for me. That's very kind of you to say. One of the reasons I started streaming is because I tend to talk to myself anyway. It's like, well, I might as well, you know, stream it, and then it's not quite me being a mad weirdo talking to myself all the time. I mean, it's not just gaming. I talk to myself all the time. It's something I have to repress when I'm in the office, particularly now that, you know, I say, because of the nature of work, we've been able to work from home. But I'll be sat there chuntering away to myself, you know, and it's something I have to repress in it, because it's not very good, not very helpful for everybody else if you're sat there talking away, you know, going on about things. Actually, because my job is, you know, a writing-based job, and it helps me to say things, you know, so if I write a sentence, I'll say it out loud, because there's a difference between, you know, reading a text to edit it and, like, hearing a text, because particularly the type of writing I do, it's sort of important that it's very readable. You know, it's a sort of a communication that benefits from... Are we going to run out of juice? I think we are again, aren't we? It's going to be close, though. Let's drop out of water. Oh, planet there. Yeah, it's that sort of thing of... Oh, we literally got one planet around here. Okay. Planet Gobi. Okay. It's not that far away. It's a bit like, you know, it's like you have different types of text you know, sort of like you know, official law documents and contracts, but also, you know, advertising copy and all these. And it's different types of writing you do. And the type of writing I do, it's quite technical, but it has to be very understandable. So it helps me to say it out loud and, like, hear it, as it were. It's something you should do or I sort of learn basically for fiction writing, because it's all very well writing, you know, two characters talking, but it's very easy to write it in such a way that it's, you know, it's not actually how people talk. And so the best way to work out, you know, if it sounds like people talking, is to basically act it out, sort of thing. Bang. So this is just another gas giant, is it? Okay, deuterium and hydrogen, fine. It's tiny, actually. That's rubbish. Hmm. So, what have we got on here? We've got... nothing particularly special. So it's just iron, bit of copper. So this is exactly the sort of system that I would probably just ignore, effectively. Because it's just more normal, boring resources, basically. You know, it's not even, not even any titanium. Or, oh no, there's loads of silicon, but so what sort of thing. And it's also just a brown, brown blob of a planet. We could fly over to the sun and see what that's about, because the blue giant ones are quite interesting. Well, I say that, not that interesting. I consider it all works for a company, but kind of proofreads badly translated instruction manuals. Oh, right. I think they love that job. I love the, you know, like when the guy, that voiceover thing they have. I love that sort of thing. Especially, I mean, I assume from a correcting it point of view. I actually thought about like contacting them and offering to do a better translation for, not a translation, but like a reworking of the text sort of thing. To make it a bit more, you know, understandable to a sort of native English speaker. I mean, it has a charm to it, obviously, but some of it's a bit incomprehensible, in my opinion. But yeah, I remember I had to, back in the day, I was trying to write a instruction manual for a piece of software that we developed at a company I used to work for. And it's really tough to get it. I mean, obviously, you kind of don't have to bother. You can just, you know, throw the words in and who reads the instruction manual. But trying to write instructions that are understandable and actually convey what the person needs to do is a real art. Although, as I say, who reads instruction manuals now? Which is why you get like tooltips. That's sort of where tooltips have come from in software, because nobody sits down and reads the software manual, you know. How far are we actually away from this? So they are enormous, these the blue giants. Absolutely huge things. I keep saying it over and over, but they really have nailed the look of the game. A lot of it's the lighting effects. They just absolutely got them spot on. You see, we're accelerating. I'm not touching the thing. That's like a gravity effect that it does. So we're sort of accelerating towards the planet because the gravity well, basically. Because the max speed I can do is 2,000, and you can actually do. It's not very effective, like like real life, but you can do like gravity slingshotting. There we go. So we got past the point where it's showing it as a sort of a bloom effect. And can you see? There you go. So it's doing like actual solar flares on it and stuff. It's quite a level. I don't know whether we're going to get to like harvest the suns and stuff like that. There you go. It's got its own sound effect. See if we can get in orbit, or if I messed that up. There you go. It's a bit bloomed, it's a bit sort of blown out because it's so bright, but yeah. And they did, they did that for all of them. You see, like, that's the whatever it's called, the solar wind or whatever. They do it for all the planets, but I think it's the prettiest on these ones. There you go. Great stuff. Right, so we need to be heading. Only got about 20 minutes left. We need to be heading down here. Are we going to make it in time? So it'll take a minute in theory, but it's going to take a couple of warps. We're not going to make it that far. So I'll get us up to 2,000 and then we'll fully recharge this time. We might make it on a single go if we've got a full charge. Oh, where did that? What did I do there? Korean mostly. I don't really understand the job, but that's how I can understand. Yeah, it probably is something like, because say, and there are. I mean, as I say, I'm joking about that nobody reads the manuals thing, because most people don't. But there are manuals are important things in some domains, because some things are. I mean, if you're setting up some highly technical thing, you need the manual. Even if you're using it to cross-reference, it's not. If you're setting up some giant, lab equipment or something like that, you need to know what cable plugs into where and, what each one does and that sort of thing. So I'm just being silly with the, no, it's a manual. But yeah, it is still, in the thing. And as I say, particularly across, languages like. Why are we slowing down? I guess that's because I'm, the gravity of the star, maybe. It's weird we're slowing down. Anyway, let's let it recharge a bit. Yeah, I mean, because certain languages like, Chinese, Korean, those Asian languages, they're structured very, very differently to English. And that's why that translation is basically gibberish, because sentence structure is very, very different. You don't say the words in the same order, basically, in a very, very different way, sort of thing. It's not like I mean, you do that in sort of French and stuff. I think I'm not very good with languages, if I'm totally honest, but the way of saying something in Korean, Chinese is very, very different to how you do it in English. Right, so we're sort of about, 3/4 of the way there. Still got plenty of juice. Let's give it a go with the warp. I don't think we'll make it all the way there. Oh, we might do. So we're down to 5, so we've done about 2. No, we won't, will we? We'll get close. But so this is, I'd almost happily play a game where it was just this, exploring around the galaxy. We're gonna not quite make it. Yeah, so we're a bit off. So we'll have to recharge a bit more. In fact, I mean, that was kind of what I was hoping. You remember No Man's Sky? I don't know if you ever played that. But that was kind of what I was hoping that game would be. Lots of exploring, and it is. But when you actually played it, it was just a grind fest. You spent hours just trying to find carbon and, you know, iron and all this sort of stuff, and it was just so tedious. I know they've added tons to it, and I keep meaning to go back to it, but well, in particular, they've added a sandbox mode, and I think that may be a better way for me to play. But I say they're grinding out hours and hours and hours of. You need to mine carbon, you need to mine silicon, you need to mine. You know, that's why I play automation games, so that something will do that for me, not so that I have to stand there with a zapper for 2 hours to get enough silicon. And that at that scale, because in order to fly across to some other galaxy or other solar system, you needed ridiculous amounts of stuff. How far are we away? We are 0.33. So if we warp now, we should get there. Four, three, four. Right, we're going to have a look at the planet that should be here first, and then we'll go and fly up to the... Is this the new... No, yeah, this is the black hole. Let's go and have a look at the planet first. No. Wrong button. There we go. She's there. They've played it because of the bad launch. I've been busy with that stuff since. Yeah. Yeah, I say it's sort of... I mean, they've added loads to it. It's... and they've all been free updates, which... I mean, given how big it launched, I can understand... they've sort of not needed to get more money, I guess. It's really unfortunate because the guy was, he did the, what's his name? Bullfrog guy. Peter Molyneux, isn't it? Is that him? Wallop. He did that thing where he got hyped up on his own game. And basically ended up... There they are, unipolar magnet. That's the big one. Fire ice, fractal silicon. So it's got lots of the novel things on it. Where's that? Unipolar magnet. Okay. Where are we? We're very close to it. It's a bit of a boring planet, though. Just a regular old ice planet. But yeah, he got hyped up on his own game, I think, and basically ended up saying... the things that you wanted to put in 3 years' time would be in the game at launch. These are the best, one of the best models in the game. These unipolar magnet. So cool looking. We should have these on the neutron star as well. They do like, if you get the right angle, they do like really cool shadows as well. But these basically, I don't actually think I've unlocked. I can't remember what they let you do. It's something. Here we go. There we go. So it lets you make the particle containers. Basically, a little bit of copper, which we should have copper on this. No, wrong button. Oh, it's not that much actually. That's not very good. That's not very generous. But a bit of copper, and you can make those straight off. No? What am I looking for? There we go. Make these basically with unipolar magnets and that. And these become hugely important because you need them, to make a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't actually unlocked yet, I don't think. But it avoids having to do the whole graphene chain. I mean, both of those are big and complicated to produce. So you sort of crack in with these. And obviously, I mean, it's 10 becomes 1, I think, basically. So it's not a brilliant ratio. But, we've got 607. So you can make 70,000, basically, of those just from here. I'll say it's really quite useful to exploit these. And it's not this, the black hole isn't that far away. Let's go have a look at our black hole. Yes. Let's get it on. With what they played it, promisingly, yeah. I say it's, you know, it is. There is a lot to it now. But every time I sort of go back to it and say, right, well, I'll give it a go now because you can build bases, or, you know, they added like colony management type stuff in it recently, and it's like, that sounds interesting. I'll give it a go. And I start playing it, and 4 hours of grinding out, you know, zapping silicon later, I uninstall it because. You know, I'm sure it's brilliant when you get there, but I'm not got patience to do that. You know, I don't think. And we obviously couldn't actually get here. You'd be torn apart, basically. It's a video game, so we can do that. Yeah, I'd happily play a game. I mean, imagine this. I hope somebody does do a sort of VR mod for it of some description. It'd be awesome flying around something like this. It's mad that they sort of simulate it as well. It's not. Right, let's see if we can get away. There we go. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, I've run out of juice. Okay. So, 10 minutes left. We could try and do the thing. I'm a bit rubbish at it, but you can basically fly at the, or you can warp at the black hole and it spits you out sort of randomly. You have to do it properly. And obviously we don't have any juice. So I'll give that a go and then we'll head over to the neutron star. Hopefully we should make it in time. It's got a double accretion disk, basically, this, isn't it? It's got like two things going on. That looks sick. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's sort of, I keep saying it over and over again, but they absolutely nailed it. You know, it's sort of exactly what you want out of a, you know, game where you fly around galaxies and all that sort of stuff. Right, so we got out a third and we're very close. So we point ourselves at the black hole and then we hit warp. There you go. So we bounced off it, basically. Let's see where we've ended up. There you go. So we've leapt, basically, all that distance. And it does sort of randomize it and stuff. But yeah, we basically flew into the black hole and bounced off. Right, so let's see if we can... Is that... Did I put the indicator on? I already did that, didn't I? But someone on Reddit was suggesting that that might be a way of, like, getting to other parts of the, you know, the galaxy or something. Like almost, you know, like a New Game Plus would be flying into the black hole and it spits you out in a new bit of the galaxy. Right, so we're going to have to recharge. It's not that, I mean, it's only 3 light years, so we can sort of go at about half battery power. I guess it might. If I do my wrap up now, it's going to take a while to recharge. But this is my last stream of the year for definite. I mean, I may, as I say, do a bit of a one-off stream during the period between Christmas and New Year. Basically to even up the number of Factorio VODs I've got stored up on my YouTube channel, because it's a bit confusing, you know, them being an uneven number. I may not do that. I may just skip a stream and, you know, count them, or I may start the other series or something like that. But yeah, there's going to be some change. Not immediately. Be some changes to the series, I think. I will probably, one option is I will effectively alternate between Dyson Sphere and Factoria and Satisfactory on Fridays and Mondays. You know, 1 week will be, or maybe 1 month will be one series and 1 month the other, so that I can dedicate a bit more time to them individually without feeling guilty, as it were. Another option I'm mulling over is restarting my Stardew Valley series. It wasn't exactly a popular series on YouTube, but it feels weird to leave it basically unfinished. I'd at least like to get to the end of year 2 and do the thing that happens there. But the unfortunate thing with that series is he added a massive update. Concerned Ape added a massive, I think we can get there, massive update while I was playing it. So then I ended up with like tons to do, where I was kind of closing in on an end game. I mean, not really, but yeah. So if I started streaming that, there'd be a lot to do, which would be quite good. But I feel like with Satisfactory, I don't know that people would particularly watch that. You know, randoms basically would come in. And it can be a bit lonely just talking to yourself sometimes, but even though, as I say, I do it anyway. But yeah, so that may be another option. I may do all of that, may do none of that. I don't know. Good thing about being a nobody is you don't have to, you know, commit to doing. You're not like your Dr. Disrespects, where he's got to play, you know, shooter games or whatever. I can do whatever I want, sort of thing. But yeah, so I am going to tweak things, I think. Exactly what that tweak is, I don't yet know. Factorio will obviously continue. That's not going anywhere. On the weekends, yeah. So this is the last stream for me for definite for the year. I will return. Bang. First week in January. First weekend in January after the New Year's. And there we go. So we've got unipolar magnets here as well. And these are the only 2 places you get those. The planets orbiting. And they should, unless they've tweaked it. Yeah, so you get 1 planet around each. I don't know if it's always an ice planet, but it was on my other save as well. So maybe that's always an ice planet. Orbiting these 2. Well, it makes sense. They're not going to be giving off a lot of heat. One wouldn't have thought. So it's just the same thing again, basically. It's no different here. But I say these are the only 2 sources of unipolar magnets. No play Stardew. Yeah, I mean, Stardew is one of those games. It's very different to this. I love it. It's a great game. I mean, it's like the Harvest Moon games, but a lot more detail. There's a lot more dark stuff in it as well. There's a lot of like one of the characters is basically like an alcoholic, and another one is well, it's a couple that are sort of alcoholic. There's another's like a war veteran, you know, and it's got PTSD, and then it's presented in this cutesy style sort of thing that it sort of almost belies that, you know, that thing. But so we'll nip over to the neutron star, and that's where we'll leave the series for the year, basically. It's quite a way away, actually, isn't it? Oh dear. But yeah, the series I was doing on YouTube was a the Stardew one. I was going to build like a brewery, basically, so beer and wine and that sort of thing. And I got a long way into it, and then things just got on top of me, basically. The whole, because this is where my problem, as it were, with editing comes, because whoops. Oh, crikey. Did I must have hit something there to do an autosave, but I didn't know you could do that. Slow down. Yeah, so I say, so it is a long way in, but I got to a point where editing was taking basically the entire weekend, and nobody was watching the things, and it was like, that's an awful lot of effort. And I think it's just, I don't know how to edit type of thing. But switching them to live streams would be, I mean, I don't edit the VODs. I think they work as continuous play, as it were. So yeah, so this is the neutron star. As you can see, it's swirling around. They've actually made it faster. It wasn't this quick before. But this is the neutron star, and it's swirling away. And it looks awesome, particularly zoomed out like this. Tiny little Icarus down in the bottom there. Roiling, boiling mass. So there you go. So that's a quick tour of the local area of the star system. We visited several of the different types of suns. We only got to see a couple of extra. There are some more organic types. I thought we'd encounter more of them, but as I say, we found a sulfuric acid planet, so that's really useful. And our black hole and neutron star are quite close, so we can get the unipolar magnets. That'll be useful. But yeah, so that's it for me for today, for the year as well. If you celebrate Christmas, I guess, I suppose people say that sort of thing nowadays, but whether you do or not, I hope you have a break over Christmas period, and get to eat some pleasant food and have some fun. I certainly am hoping to, especially having had to cancel it last year. Hopefully it'll go ahead this year. And these series, I say, if I do make changes, it won't be the first streams, it will be after that. And I'll explain what I'm going to do. But yeah, so for everyone who's watched this stream, previous streams today, people who've chatted along like Grim, if you just watched or I've been in the background, it's all very much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Tristan Magistris. This has been Dyson Sphere Program. Thanks for watching. Cheers.